Balance has decided to suspend the balance card from December, so you will no longer be able to pay in crypto with your Binance card. But today, I'm going to talk to you about another crypto card much better than the Binance card, which, by the way, also allows you to make debt and then use your card as a real credit card. But not only that, because by making debt by putting as collateral the two assets, let's assume, for example, Bitcoins and taking a loan, if the value of your assets appreciates. So obviously the value example of Bitcoin increases. You will have the chance to sell some of your assets to go and pay back that loan. And so, obviously as a result, you're going to pay back less of your money than what you borrowed. I'll explain better. Obviously, during the video, obviously there's the possibility of putting your assets as collateral rather than going and selling them. If you have to make an expense, then take some debit, possibly paying interest. But if the value of your assets put as collateral, take value. Obviously, as a result, you're going to go and sell some of it to pay back what you owe. In this case, I'm going to talk to you about today, and then going to pay back your loan. And keep the 2 Bitcoins. Hello, crypto maniac friend, and welcome to this video. If you don't know me yet, I'm Salvatore. Before I start, as always, like the video to support me. For me, it's very important. Let me know in the comments which crypto card is currently you're using. And if you decide to switch to this crypto card, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. And now let's start. Many of you will have already figured it out. And today, let's talk about Nexo and the Nexo card. Nexo is definitely the only platform, guys, that I would use for staking large, obviously amounts of crypto, because the one that has performed best, even during obviously all the bear market, because it gives the best interest on both stable codes and all the other crypto. In fact, guys, personally, I don't currently hold large amounts of it. Before I had a lot more, and I earned in about 6 months, guys, since June, $25 interest on, obviously not $450, guys, but out of basically $50. So I made 50%. I will show you just by holding the staking, the that Nexo token that in the last 6 months. Obviously, it always has the same price as when I bought them, about 60 cents. Had fluctuations. Currently, it is still at 60, and I made $25 out of $50 of having to put in Sting. But that is another matter. And let's go to see why. Obviously, Nexo Card is the best ever. First fundamental thing, if you are not yet registered at Nexo, in description under the video, you will find my referral link, guys, to sign up after you have done the registration and document verification. You can go to your application only from there. You can apply for the card, go to the card section, as you see here in overlay on the screen, and of course do the card application. It will ask you the usual document verification. After the verification, it will give you the possibility to get your card. You can of course also add to Apple Pay and Google Pay and all the services you want. And then of course you can decide to deposit your, always from applications or maybe from Brother, wherever you prefer, or obviously go and buy them directly from the exchange. And today we're going to look first of all at the benefits of the Nexo card. Certainly the cashback, guys, is one of the benefits, because obviously the cards also gives you a cashback, which can be 2%, obviously in daily interest, up to 0.5% in cashback on Bitcoin, and up to 2% cashback obviously in Nexo tokens. So all the purchases that you will make thanks to the Nexo card will entitle you to a cashback that you will receive directly on your card. Also, as I anticipated, Nexo Card allows you to hold your assets and make debt using, obviously, the asset costs as collateral. Guys, you can go and take out a loan. So basically it works a little bit like a credit card on, which obviously you go and spend money, which will then be, for example, deducted from your paycheck, when it is then credited, for example, to your credit card also. Even more, Nexus gives you the ability to earn interest on your assets. So not only to hold them, but also to accrue interest that is paid, obviously then to the same on your exchange, by simply holding adaptable or Bitcoin or any other crypto. So simply by holding your crypto on Nexus, you have the ability to spend it with the Nexo card to earn a cashback for what you spend and to earn interest on your crypto. So stablecoin Bitcoin, or even euros and dollars. Now, though I'll give you an example of a loan that is collateralized by Bitcoin, and that obviously then is paid back. Let's assume that we have, for example, a Bitcoin on Nexo, and we decide to go and put as collateral our Bitcoin to take a loan. And you ask yourself, but what is there simply, guys, need to have credit? Let's assume that you don't want to sell your Bitcoins and I need some liquidity to do a transaction to make a purchase. And obviously you decide to put as collateral to your Bitcoins, so you don't want to sell the Bitcoin. That you think obviously that the price of Bitcoin is going to go up. What happens? You go to Nexo, you obviously go to the borrow section, and you go take a loan putting as collateral. Your crypto paying 8% almost in interest. You obviously will have a line of credit. You can basically take more crypto and more money on loan, by the way. Guys, both grip that you can take, but also obviously euros. So a real loan on your card, then on your checking account. You can safely take it by putting Bitcoin as collateral. And that's a great thing, or paying 0% interest. Obviously having a much more restrictive line of credit, for example. I currently have 90 USDT and I can take paying 8%, 90 USDT, basically $90 price. Or 20, paying 0%. What happens? I go, for example, to put my Bitcoins as collateral. Let's assume I have Bitcoins. I go to take, for example, with a Bitcoin, I go take, for example, 10,000 USDT loan, and then I will have to pay back, obviously, this 10,000 USD plus interest. Okay, which in this case is 8%. What happens that if the price of Bitcoin, obviously, guys, increases, I can go and sell part of my Bitcoins to go and repay the loan, and therefore, and as a result, I didn't sell my Bitcoins, I go and repay the loan, and therefore I did the transaction, and even, obviously I had the opportunity to take that loan and repay, in quotes, even less. Obviously there is also the risk that the value of the asset goes down. For example, I put Bitcoins as collateral, the price of Bitcoin goes down. What happens? We get to an 83% LTV, then loan to value. Obviously, Nexo will send us an email or a SMS to say, look, there is a need for you to add collateral. So either more Bitcoins or more USDT to secure the loan. How is it calculated? Basically, we assume a loan of $50 with a collateral value of $10,000. So let our Bitcoins, for example, have a value of $10,000. And we borrow $5,000. In this case, the launch will be 50%. If the price of Bitcoin increases their current, obviously, guys, as a result will go down if the price of Bitcoin goes down. The launch value, obviously, as a result, will increase, arrived at a 1-2 of 83%. Nexo will ask us for more collateral here. The example is also given. Obviously, you see the price of Bitcoin increases, the LTV goes down the pit. The price of Bitcoin goes down, the halo mantle goes up. When it gets to 83%, Nexo will ask us to put other asset as collateral. Should this go down, we have two options. Either go and take additional loan, then because we have the option to take more credit, then a bigger loan. Or we can sell part of our collateral to go and pay back the loan. How do you pay back the loan once it is taken here? Guys, it is very simple. Follow this indication. It is really very simple. Let's go then. Once you apply for the loan in the repay low-hand section, to go obviously take, in this case, I don't have loans to go and pay. Obviously, the interest, if any, that you have to pay. If you decide to pay it back after 30 days, you will only pay the interest of those 30 days. After a month, after 3 months, up to a year, to be able to pay back. Obviously the loan, a very trivial example. Let's assume, for example, you put a Bitcoin as collateral, guys, around December. Okay, when Bitcoin was worth about $16,000, half of now as collateral to take a loan. I put my Bitcoin because I decided to buy the new iPhone, so I go to Nexo. I don't want to sell my Bitcoins, but I want to buy an iPhone, so I need liquidity. What do? I go to Nexon. I put my Bitcoin as collateral. and I take euros or hush. Decide you on loan, it happens that. Then guys, for example, during the next months, the price of Bitcoins goes up. What happens that? That comes to double in this case. Our asset took a value of 34. US dollars practically double. And so obviously guys paid back that loan as well. It will be much, much easier because what can I do? I can go and sell a part of my Bitcoins to pay back. Obviously that soon as a result, and as if I didn't pay back that loan basically. Even in this case, it would come out even a gain. But anyway, this is obviously, guys, just a hypothetical. It can also happen that the price really goes down. But consequently, what I can do is I can sell, for example, half of my Bitcoin and pay back my price. So I'm going to pay back 100% of the loan, the money that I borrowed. Now I can keep it, basically if I spent it, well, if I didn't spend it. Of course, it comes out as a gain, and consequently I bought my iPhone. I paid back the loan, obviously paying interest, which in this case is 8%. For 8% for all the months. So obviously, I held this loan, and as a result in this case, I was also able to make a profit. And so my assets not only functioned as collateral and as collateral, but even I also made a profit by being able to spend, for example, money that I actually didn't want, I didn't have because I had Bitcoins as collateral and I didn't decide to sell them. As for next, obviously, there are video tutorials that I did on my YouTube channel regarding, guys, then interest functions. Because it pays interest really insane, that you can see here. You can leverage the paper, the interest, the debts, and do obviously so many other things. If you want then other video tutorials updated to today, let me know below in the comments, if you will. Obviously put all the likes to the video and let's see comments. I will make video tutorials for each section basically, especially for the interest one, guys, because in holding assets on Next also allows us to earn interest. Then these interest varies based on the level. I will explain, obviously, at this point. And they vary based on whether you decide to lock the assets or keep them there instead. So basically, definitely the Nexo card. In my opinion, it is the absolute best solution that there is right now. Obviously, I gave you the example of buying the iPhone, which is not something that I personally would ever borrow to do. Obviously a purchase, but you can obviously, guys, borrow to do so many other things. Maybe buy other crypto, invest, do other 3 million of things. Basically, you can use that debt, so do your research, obviously. Guys, this is not financial advice. Also because obviously then there is a risk that if the asset goes to lose value, you would have to put other collateral. If on the other hand, obviously then this would lose value. You don't have other collateral. Simply Nexo will sell your assets to precisely repay the loan. And so, in the end, you will lose basically the part of that asset that will be used to repay the loan. And this, obviously, what it would happen if you appreciate this kind of video. Let me know in the comments and leave like to support me. As always, subscribe to the channel. If you haven't done it yet, I'll be waiting for you in the next video. Also, I left the link in the description if you want to try Nexo and get a welcome Bitcoin gift.